First tonight, failings that have cost the public purse more than £1 million. Today, a damning report reveals the true extent of the inadequacies and mismanagement of a Jersey state scheme designed to help start-up companies.
The Comptroller and Auditor General's investigation into the island's Innovation Fund confirms that £1.4 million of taxpayers' money is now at risk of being written off. As a result, the Chief Minister has ordered a full review into all the grants and loans handed out, and the fund has now been suspended. In a moment, we'll be speaking live to the politician with responsibility for the fund. But first, our political correspondent Leah Ferguson has the full story on the scathing report into the state's start-up shambles.
6 start-up companies promising innovation, backed by the government with loans worth £2 million. One log filler in liquidation, losing £600,000 alone. The other 5 still in operation, but all defaulting on their loan repayments to the states. A risk to the public purse that goes deeper to the heart of government, and the civil servant first in charge of the loan scheme, Mike King, who resigned last week in a hurry. Today, a damning report reveals major failings in the way the fund was managed. The Auditor General has found confusion about roles and accountabilities. The whole operation was deficient, with poor compliance, monitoring inadequate, reporting of performance inaccurate. The report also highlights suspected criminal activity, the details unclear as yet. The whole thing's a disgrace, says this politician.
The Innovation Fund has been rotten to its core from the very start. The only thing that is surprising about this report has been the reaction from the Chief Minister, who I don't think has been prepared to be critical enough of the people who work below him, not just civil servants but politicians as well, who should be shouldering the blame for this incredibly poor decision making.
The government spending watchdog will be digging deeper.
We will be publicly investigating this and holding public hearings to which we will be calling to account accounting officers, and that will involve the Economic Development Department, the Treasury Department and possibly the Chief Minister's Department as well. We need some explanation here and more information, and that will be done through public hearings.
Yet the head of Digital Jersey made this plea today.
Please let's not let this put us off investing in innovation, investing in companies that can grow, even within the companies that have been lent money by GIF. I know of examples of companies that are doing well, that are developing their products, building relationships off island, exporting their products. There are good examples. I can understand the negativity after that report, but let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater.
He says the island must innovate or die. But with the state's total mismanagement of the loans given to these companies, the Innovation Fund is blocked for now. A public investigation imminent. Leah Ferguson, ITV News.
Well, you've had lots to say about this on social media. John Scarrett says those to blame should be forced to pay the money back. He says, how much longer can this island last with all the state's money that's being lost through greed and stupidity?
Margaret Terry says, why should anyone be surprised with all the underhand dealings that go on in this island?
Yeah, Sharon Cox says the state should be running our island, not getting involved with business loans. Leave that to the professionals.
And John LeCornu simply asks, where is the accountability?
Well, speaking of accountability, joining me now is the Minister responsible for the Innovation Fund, Senator Philip Ozouf. Minister, the key criticism here is about mismanagement, failure to carry out due diligence, monitor loans returns. I mean, how have you and your team let that happen?
Well, first of all, can I say that I am angry and dismayed about the fact that actually we have seen this report. The concept of an innovation fund was a good one. It was set up and authorised by the states, but there has been, in this report, the confirmation of what I have been saying internally for some time. There has been a very serious and unacceptable mismanagement and governance failure with this fund. Senator Gorst asked me to look into this and to sort it out, and that's exactly what I've been doing. I haven't actually been able to say some of the things that I've been doing since the review was announced, and now I can actually say a lot more.
So you're saying you're not to blame? the department's to blame? Is that the size of it?
Well, it's very clear that the states approved this fund. There was an operational terms of reference which should have been implemented. Now, I'm one of the most senior ministers, and I'm asked to sort things out, as I've done so many times in the past, and I'm the one that's uncovered all of this. And if there's any crumb of comfort that I read in this report, is the actions that I have taken in order to safeguard public money since I have been given the accountability to do it. I've actually ensured that this has stopped, and by the way, I've already closed the fund. The board has been effectively mothballed, and no new loans under my direction have been issued now for some considerable time.
It's interesting that you talk about implementation and shifting the responsibility, because in an exchange with Jess Dunsdon in the States, I've got a transcript here, and he's asking about following the failure of Loggerfiller, where £600,000 was written off. And your answer, you say, let me be absolutely clear about one thing. The Minister, and that is delegated to me, takes full responsibility and accountability for the decisions. About Loggerfiller, you say, I think I would have made the same decision. In fact, I did make this decision in that I was a counter-signatory to that particular decision. And now you're blaming the department.
No, I'm not blaming. Let us be clear. The fund was always going to have failures. And a proper constituted board with proper recommendations were put forward to myself and indeed other ministers in the past. And our check is to say, does this fulfil the policy that has been set out for the states? And then officers are there to implement it. Now, the CNAG has raised in her report that there are a number of other potentially criminal matters which are being dealt with. I'm not in a position to comment on those things as you would expect, but I am absolutely disgusted and dismayed with the fact that I was given the responsibility, but clearly, as the report indicates, I was not given all the information that was required, and that has been the subject of discussions I've had with the Chief Minister.
So who's to blame?
Not a lot.
So who's, come on, let's name names. Who's responsible?
Well, I'm not going to name names. This is a matter for the Chief Minister.
Well, it's interesting, though, isn't it, that Mike King, the Chief Officer of the department, resigned at about the same time that this report was released to him.
I can't comment about Mike King, but what I can tell you today is that in the autumn of last year, I asked, and I took the unprecedented decision to actually ask the Chief Minister for the Chief Executive Officer of the states to take over accounting officer responsibility. Now, read into yourself what you will with that, but that means that I was not satisfied with the governance of this. And actually, I have been commended by the work that I have done. I am not somebody who shirks responsibility.
Okay,
I take matters on and I deal with things, and I'm the one that sorted this out.
But I don't think the public are going to be much interested in the internal workings. They're
Well,
just going to see that the money's gone down the drain, and they're going to want to know, in the future, can the government be trusted with their money?
Well, what they can do is they can trust me as a minister to get to the bottom of it. And where there is wrongdoing, I will identify it and hold people to account. And that's what I have done. There's a lot more to be said about this. I will be making a statement to the states on Tuesday, and the Chief Minister has backed all of my decisions, and I've kept the scrutiny chair informed as I can.
All right,
There's a lot more to be said on this, but let us be clear about accountabilities.
Okay. Well, we look forward to hearing.
I'm disgusted with this report.
Okay. Thank you very much, Minister.
Other news.